Well then, let it be known that this channel, this pitiful amateur hour channel, has long been a hater of Lockport Phillip, the hypocrite king, the worst fighter in the history of the UFC. The scar upon the fading face of AEW. But on this day, finally, Punk's love of shattering kayfabe, of dropping the so-called pipe bomb, is finally too good, too important for the industry, in fact, to ignore or even to troll. This week's Monday Night Raw saw the world champ drop his finest promo in years, a promo that no doubt will go down as a classic in the years to come, and rightfully so. Punk is here to hype up his WrestleMania main event with Roman Reigns, obviously. And there's no broken announcers' tables this time, no lame jokes about the punker getting on in years, just a man, a fighting man, a champion, in kayfabe at least, calling it how it is. No BS, just intensity and a commitment to realism. Horribly lacking across the board in professional wrestling at the moment. The WWE is in a stressful position right now, a WCW circa 2000 mode of booking. And while it's all too easy to roast Triple Nose to oblivion, it's becoming increasingly clear it's not entirely his fault. The WWE has a certain problem their sister company, the UFC, also have. TK Blow. This corporate monolith, this destroyer of art, integrity, and fun, this corner-cutting juggernaut. That takes pride in underpaying fighters over promoting them. That is now forcing D-list celebrities like that booger-eating hick, Jelly Roll, and actual worst WWE commentator ever, Pat McAfee, down everyone's throats. All those utter retards claiming Booker T is a bad commentator. The worst, some people say. When he's hilarious and full of energy, and did a great job of getting Trick Williams and Stephanie Vacation over with fans, all those idiots dissing King Book, when goobers like Pat McAfee have stunk out the commentary booth on and off for years, are having a laugh. This guy, McAfee that is lame. He's not funny. You see, being loud does not equate to being interesting. Being goofy does not equate to being charismatic. And being a drunken kicker in the NFL over a decade ago does not equate to being the next Stallone. Sylvester Stallone? Why are you bringing up some movie star from yesteryear, Burial? Very good question. So, Anal Emanuel, Pat McAfee's daddy, agent, believes old Shat can actually be a big-time movie star and action man like Stallone was in his heyday. Yeah, right. Yeah, and I am gonna be the white Dwayne Johnson. Doesn't make it true, does it, just 'cause I say it? It's ridiculous. Anywho, between that and ESPN wanting more of a presence on WWE programming now, seemingly, McAfee was given the full green light to completely ruin the Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes feud going on at the moment. So, by all accounts, this is not actually on Triple Nose, his Justice League of failed Saturday Night Live writers, or his mistress, ChatGPT. This is actually on TKO. This is corporate meddling. The kind of thing that destroys products and strips them of every last ounce of meaning or fun that once made them popular with everyday viewers. Utterly disgraceful. Many of the actual wrestlers are understandably quite upset right now, and the fans are also understandably losing interest. And CM Punk, in just shy of 15 minutes, summed it all up, all while still committing to selling the story of him and Reigns as arch-enemies. That's a pro's pro, working a promo, proper wrestling 101. He weaved reality into the fiction, addressed his own changes as a man and character over the years, noting he's old and rich now compared to the brash young idealist he once was, but in among all the wealth and success he hasn't lost touch with reality as a character, angrily demanding the criminally high-priced tickets this year for WrestleMania be lowered, so that people actually, can afford to go and watch the show they love without breaking the bank. The roasting of The Rock's fallen idol status in Hollywood these days, along with dismissing Roman Reigns as a corporate creation lacking in soul, was great. It was good trash talk. Throwing in some cheap shots about Reigns' teeth and the like was immature. Sure, it was, but guess what? Sports entertainment is immature. This was funny. This did more to build up hatred between the two than the recent brawls have, all with considerably less physical exertion involved. So there, let it be known that the Burial can drop his hate to the side when one of his least favourite wrestlers ever really does do a great job. Promo of the year, thus far. And you know what? It's not even close. Excellent stuff. Screw it, why not? Have CM Punk retain at WrestleMania. Roman Reigns resurrected the WWE at the start of the decade. The Tribal Chief is one of the best heel acts of this generation, and the Bloodline went mainstream for a while there. That being said, Reigns, since losing the gold to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40, has floundered as a character. He is simply not likable as a babyface. There has been little effort to expand the character in a redeemed good guy direction beyond making amends with Jey Uso, perhaps, and Reigns, as Punk and countless fans have pointed out, is rarely there anymore. Give Punk his moment while the goodwill is there, and he can drop the gold in the summer to a next-generation star, Femi, perhaps, or Bron Breakker when he's healed up. Speaking of Femi, this is one man the WWE are actually working overtime to convince us is a new main event act. Femi's a big hoss, he's strong, he works an aggressive, explosive style that sells him as a monster. And he's distinctive and charismatic on the microphone. It's a shame he beats off to Joe Rogan and Elon Musk in reality, but who are we to judge? What matters is the work on the screen, and Femi is NXT's biggest success in years. Femi and Lesnar is an easy sell to all fans who don't keep up with Brock Lesnar's penchant for water sports, allegedly. Under his alter ego, again allegedly, of Polish Joe. Alrighty then. The only actual problem here, creatively, is Triple Nose sticking his beak into this big man battle, cucking us, the viewers, with his boring, self-obsessed presence, trying to play Dana White. Getting between two fighters like he could actually stop them from throwing down right then and there if they actually wanted to. Just give us what we want, two big men destroying the arena in a brawl. Thankfully, neither Triple Nose nor Adam Pearce could hold this down, as it became yet another big fighting segment between the pair. As it should be. This should be King Kong versus Godzilla, two jacked freaks raising hell. Big, dumb and fun. That's all it needs to be. That's all people want. The only drawback here is Triple Nose seems to believe that every feud can only be bolstered by weekly pull-apart brawls, so the impact of these two has been neutered when Punk and Reigns and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton are both frequently booked to hit the exact same notes. So let's put this show in order before I go out to celebrate having a Tuesday off for a change. First match, No Pupston Theory versus L.A. Slide. Here are two guys who could have shut up the card a few years ago, now operating under stale conditions. The chance to make Knight a babyface sensation has passed. The promotion failed completely to capitalize on the massive popularity the former Eli Drake was enjoying in 2023 and 2024. Now, in 2026, with his prime athletic years in the rear view, he's garnering a grim reputation as a man who just keeps finding banana peels everywhere he steps. Titus O'Neil 2.0. Theory, meanwhile, is proof that not everyone should be serious. Dopey Selfies master Austin Theory was a funny heel, bolstered by a silly dynamic with geriatric Vince McMahon. As a young punk doofus, Theory showed strong comedic chops and further bolstered his act by bumping like a madman for babyface opponents. As is customary with WWE now, this match actually revolved around D-list so-called celebrities, this time focusing on iShowSpeed, who at least is actually athletic and mobile, unlike Jelly Dolt. This match was all about what was going on outside the ring, so Theory gained little from the win, while Knight got to look like a champ, as per usual. A house show level 6-man tag match was then confirmed for WrestleMania, with Knight now best buds with the Usos, despite his long-running beef with the Bloodline taking on what little is left of the Vision. Dominipo Mysterio and JD McCranium weren't interested in seeing Finn Balor wrestle tonight, so that match never happened. Balor just got beat down in a dreary display of false advertising. Shameful. Famed TRT enthusiast AJ Lee took a break from her therapy to grace us with her presence as she continues to be a 50-year-old, 15-year-old. Becky Cringe came out then to stink out the joint with the kind of hammy overacting that would leave Tommy Wiseau himself with a spinning head, reminding us all why her little Hollywood dreams will remain just that. WWE already gave away this anti-dream match earlier this year, a cumbersome butchfest. Between two has-beens pretending everyday fans actually wanted that women's revolution a decade back. Lee tried to get all tough with the trash talk here by suggesting she was Lynch's daughter's favourite wrestler. Ooh, yikes, oh! Someone quickly get something cold to apply to that burnt area on Lynch. Wow, hardcore! Hey, look, I suppose it was better than when she said she was everyone's favourite wrestler's favourite wrestler. I seem to be pronouncing some of my R's in this video as W's. I burnt my tongue very badly on my morning coffee. Maybe I'm just paranoid about it though, I don't know. I just don't know. Anyways, AJ Lee, utterly delusional. Clearly all that therapy isn't working. You see, now, to me personally, and I think a lot of people listening will agree with this, they might not want to admit they do, though, most folks would love to have a cool job, right? A rewarding job that pays well and is exciting, right? So, for example, a job like, say, pro wrestling on a grand stage for 7 figures a year. Pretty good. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? If that was your job, right, instead of having to wake up at 6 to go into some dump for 8 or 9 hours and be browbeaten by middle management, right, let's say your job instead was travelling the world performing in front of tens of thousands of people who loved you, right, you'd probably be quite happy. Sure, it may be a bit of a high-stress life, bumps and bruises and all that, but, you know, you'd be fulfilled. Fulfilled, I think, personally. But then again, most people aren't deep in their super important feelings, I suppose. A prison of mental instability actually exacerbated by some money-grubbing therapists for some extra sessions over actually fixing the problem, one would imagine. If you really want to know how therapists actually work, just check out the opening scenes of There's Something About Mary with Richard Jenkins' cameo. Incredibly accurate. Incredibly. Oh, Bayley took on Lash Legend. I think she goes out with Trick Williams in real life. Well, she did on NXT when I used to watch that show. My finger just suddenly hit the fast-forward button with this one. I don't know what happened. What I do know is it happened on your remote as well. The Bayley effect, in full effect. Zest Fruity Rollins came out to the ring, and because he's a babyface now, went back to the vapid, vacuous, fan-sucking up he used to do back in 2018 and 2019. Where he'd open every show by recapping what had happened last week. Thank you, Seth, we saw it. Why didn't you actually just do a promo instead? Gunther is about to be the new Paul Heyman guy. Another strong talent, Gunther, weighed down by a fat cringe merchant who hasn't been interesting in over a decade. This sucked. Rollins has zero charisma as a good guy between his whiny voice, disingenuous delivery, and the last year spent as a zesty heel seducing beefy men to the backside. Gunther should squash this has-been Triple H favourite and move on, please. Anyways, a whole lot of filler padded out the rest of this show. The Americanos wrestled some luchadors, and Rey Mysterio is back in action, ready to be pensioned off to a multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania by the looks of it. Something that I'm sure doesn't run the risk of being a death sentence to an aging legend's bad knees and injury-prone groin whatsoever. What could possibly go wrong there? Oh, and the most overrated wrestler in WWE today, Rhea Ripley, was in the house to, stump on the entrance ramp. Yeah. So damn cool, bro. Oh, yeah. So damn cool. Wow. And you know, frankly, who needs the men's wrestlers when you can have a woman who wishes she was a men's wrestler instead? Really. Hell yeah. And nothing screams top dog like constantly trashing those no-good pesky fans who actually watch and support the product. Hell yeah, that's the stuff. You know, Vince McMahon has time to sign autographs outside the courthouse, but Wea Whipwee doesn't have time to sign one or two outside of a venue after a show, apparently. Frankly, no one's interested in the lesbianic queer-baiting of Whipwee and Io Sky anymore. We all know it'll never go anywhere. Jade Cargill, meanwhile, isn't even allowed to wrestle, despite holding the belt over on SmackDown. So what do you want from me here? This whole angle with Cargill's groupies? Car-groupies, if you will, stinks! The Faux Scissor Sisters won, but Cargill and friends looked to get some heat by beating up Io Sky post-match. Oh. Do you remember when Sky was one of the most popular wrestlers in the promotion heading into last year's WrestleMania? Well, the top brass don't, apparently. Overall, this show was quite rightly about building up WrestleMania. Beyond the CM Punk promo, though, little went on that would leave you that much more interested in seeing what the show might have to offer later this month.